Ready, this will be posted after the Habs Carolinas game, so it'll be good for everyone to watch. But I am joined
Okay.
by Casey Glitzen out
Yes.
of close to Kansas City, Missouri, correct?
Yep.
Is that what I
Just
gathered?
I'm in the KC metro area, so I'm a
Yeah.
suburb of Kansas City, where the Chiefs are moving to headquarter.
Yes,
Yeah.
2031, here we come.
Yep.
Um, that's a whole Pandora's box, right? But a lot of stuff to be had here. But again, thanks so much for making the time and coming on the show. And the NFL is a 365 12-month 12-month event, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's a little break. I will say this year I've had a little break because we didn't have playoffs and Super Bowl and all of that. And I know, it's not that I don't want our team to be there. Trust me, I do.
Yes.
But I welcomed the break. It was nice. We haven't had one like that in a long time. So, yeah.
No, because they're playing another full season basically within those
Yep.
within those years, right? And
Which means I attended basically a whole other season.
right.
Yes.
So kind of take us back. How did you kind of become a fan and how did you get the nickname? And we can kind of go through it.
Sure.
Yeah, it looks like you got a lot going on. And I know the schedule was making me wacky last week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, as far as becoming a Chiefs fan, when I was 9 years old, we moved to Kansas.
Mhm.
And that kind of kicked everything off. Although I was 9, I had brothers, they're into football. So, you just kind of gradually
Mhm.
kind of mold to a team. I had one brother that really was more a Seahawks fan. He's now big time Chiefs, but the other one, always been a Cowboys fan. My most of my family, I came from the Pacific Northwest, so
Mhm.
most of my family are Seahawks fans. So Seahawks are definitely my second team. But no, I think just living in Kansas, growing up in Kansas, you kind of link to something. So Chiefs were definitely what I linked to. When I
Mhm.
was 18, though, I moved away. And I literally lived in the Carolinas for 14 years. We didn't have a team back then. Panthers didn't exist.
Right.
Jaguars didn't exist. I actually lived in North and South Carolina. So I was around when the expansion teams came about and the Panthers and the Jags came about. With that said, there was a brief time where I'm supporting the Panthers just because there's finally a team that's near me. I mean, outside of that, there was nothing near me. I mean, I guess Atlanta would be kind of the closest type thing, but there really wasn't anything within the vicinity. Um, so I struggled, honestly, being a Chiefs fan then, because I mean, nobody really knew the Chiefs, and I certainly didn't fit in being a Chiefs fan. Very much in military atmosphere back then. So almost everybody was, quite frankly, I mean, you had the Raiders. Cowboys. I mean, you had your big known teams that military was definitely surrounded with. So Chiefs just was not one that there's a lot of military back in those days that support it. Now it's different. But I did then eventually move back to Kansas, to the Kansas City area. And immediately it was a breath of fresh air. Got back into my roots of the Chiefs. And really at that point, I've been more of a hardcore fan ever since. So that was about 19, 20 years ago, that
Okay.
I moved back to Kansas City and really dug my toes in and became the fan that I am now.
So that was right
Um,
around I saw Herm Edwards on NFL Network the other day. So that would have been right around the Herm Edwards when
yeah,
he came in. And then they got that last playoff spot in the '06 season. Like
it
so
was,
many.
oh, so I came in, I moved here in the season of 2006. So it was really about 2007 though. I was pregnant when I was here. So it was really more 2007, 2008
Mhm.
time frame. And my first game actually wasn't until I think it was like 2009, I think it may have been.
Mhm.
Um, I think it was right around 2009
Yeah.
that I actually made it to a game. So that was just, I mean, that was the beginning of the end, I should say. Once you go to a game here in Arrowhead, it's just, it changes you. And to have access to it as much as I do now, there's just no other way to see a game for sure.
I would agree completely. Whether you're a fan of the Chiefs or not, I was there in 1999. Watched the Lions and Chiefs play. Stayed right across from the stadium. Like it was just as a 20-year-old kid, I was like, boy, this
Yeah.
this is something. And then seeing the late Derek Thomas come out, and
Yeah.
4 months before his passing, and just you think of these moments, right? And I saw Tammy Faye Baker in the elevator too, but I'm not kidding. Uh, so that was quite something.
That's
It
crazy.
was. My buddy's dad goes, you know who that was? Tammy Faye. Okay. So yeah, and then in 2023 going there, we did the tour and everything else, and yeah, we've been conversing, plan to take the family down in November. But
Yeah,
yes,
that's what you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah, hopefully you make that for sure.
yeah, that's the idea. We booked a hotel so they wouldn't crank up the rate, but
Oh, nice. Well, I've got you connected with
yes,
someone
yeah,
for
yeah,
tickets,
yeah,
so
yes, you
we'll
do.
get that processing and going for you for
Appreciate it.
sure.
Yeah.
He's waiting on you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good to hear. Uh, so what do you want to talk a bit more of that? Like once you go to a game, it changes you. Like again,
Yeah.
we've both been there, and you go way more than I. I've only been twice, but what do you like that stadium, the way it's configured,
Yes.
all of that. So just maybe kind of dig more into that.
I would say the whole complex. I mean, I know back in the 90s and even when I first moved here, the area outside, yes, the hotels, it was definitely more lively. Unfortunately, that has not survived.
Hmm.
But there is something about the complex. And maybe it is because of the area around it. I don't know, but it just breathes life. When you see I come through gate 7 and when we crest that hill and you see the tips of those two stadiums, it's just a magical moment. I mean, I when I see other people see it for the first time and I see their look, I literally will tear up. I just can't help myself because it's just this magnificent feeling, and you know the history and everything that goes on there. And it's kind of like you have these flashes of moments of, I remember seeing it for the first time with my son, my daughter. I mean, just all these different people. And yeah, it's just a very nostalgic type feeling. So it's sad that that's coming to an end. But I'm glad that we have definitely made the memories that we've made there. So it's just something magical about it. And
Right.
it's honestly very unique to Kansas City. I've been to a lot of stadiums. I mean, I've been to stadiums, international stadiums, been to stadiums for Super Bowls, been away team games. I mean, I've been to a lot of stadiums, college, football, baseball, you name it. That those two stadiums, it's just that whole complex is just totally different. Particularly when we're all tailgating, you just see happiness, quite frankly. I mean, everybody's collective. It's one big party. Um, yeah, it's just nostalgic is pretty much the best word I can give it.
Yeah, I think that's very well said. I mean, people offer food, they're playing cornhole. It is a happening place,
Yeah.
no doubt, right? And again, I remember when we went for the tour, like, again, I was like, wow, it's like sewn to the ground too. And it's
Yes.
that many, and that's the other thing too. And maybe it symbolizes something that Kansas City is kind of in the center of America, and everybody comes
Mhm.
there. You meet people from Detroit, Utah. And is it true that the Chiefs have season ticket holders in all 50 states? I've heard this rumor. Is
I
that
would
something you've heard?
imagine so. I know we definitely do in majority of the states, if it's not all the states, but I would imagine so. I know in our section, I'm right by the tunnel.
Hmm.
Our entire section are season ticket members, and we definitely have had, I mean, we have season ticket members from, I know we've had them from Texas, Iowa, Nebraska, Oklahoma. I mean, so definitely all of that central, southwestern type stuff. But I would imagine so. And then you also got to think a lot of the players themselves who come from all these different states, their families generally get season tickets too. So it would make sense that we definitely cover all 50 states just from being a centralized location and then the players themselves.
Yeah,
So.
definitely. You want to talk a bit about your, I've seen some pictures with you and Roger Goodell at the NFL draft. Do you make this an annual thing?
It is an annual thing. It's become an annual thing. So
Okay.
it started when I went to the Cleveland draft. That was my first draft. And that was the draft right after like quarantine COVID. I mean, it was still
Yes.
during COVID, but it was right after quarantine.
That's
And so you had to have both shots to go, all of it. I actually was part of Chiefs Inner Circle during that one. So I literally had to take to the internet. I'm like, does anybody else have their shots? Would they like to join me as my plus one for the draft? And so a girl Monica Blakely, who does Passion for Ezra. She's the one that's designed the split jacket for Donna Kelsey and all that. I had known her back then. So I knew her before the Kelsey days and stuff, but she had designed shoes and stuff for me. And so we had never met in person. And she's actually a Commanders season ticket holder, Steelers fan at heart, but she had grown to love the Chiefs because a lot of us were getting stuff from her. And so she's like, I'll go. We had never met in person. And so it was just this kind of crazy moment we had. And we met up there in Cleveland and went to the draft together. While we're there, so Goodell comes out at every draft. He always comes out and shakes hands and does autographs, takes pictures, and all of that. I'm a little bit bold and crazy, I guess. And I was like, you know what? It's quarantine. We're done with this. We had to wear masks and stuff.
yeah.
I yanked down my mask and I was like, come on, just Raj, give me a kiss. I was kind of joking. And then he leaned down, gave me a kiss. So that was the first one. And that one, everybody's like, there's no way. So I made a joke of it. I'm like, oh, I'm blowing this into poster size. It's going over my bed and all this stuff. Never imagined that would ever happen again. You know, I just kind of thought we were both just over the whole quarantine aspect. So fast forward to the next draft. And again, he comes out. At this point, I've kind of learned how to get into the theater itself. So there's where there's a will, there's a way with these
That's right.
things. So he comes out again, and again, I'm like, well, hey, maybe we should make this a tradition. I mean, you've got to be quick talking to him because it's pretty quick as he's going through all this stuff. And I was like, look, and I'm pulling my phone out. I was like, you gave me a kiss before. Let's do it again. And this time he had signed the back of my jacket that I had on, and he leaned down. I think I kissed him at that point. So in this particular picture, it was a horrible picture because it just happened so fast. So I had the camera and I literally got his forehead. Somebody was behind me taking a picture. So you got a picture of him leaning down. So I mean you can put two and two together, but it wasn't a clean picture. And then it's kind of moved forward. Green Bay, see him again. By the time I've got to Green Bay last year,
Wait for you.
at this point, his security just sees me and it's become a just get in line. Like, we know what you're here for. And in Green Bay, it was a go ahead, get in front, walk with us. So I'm literally walking with his security and Goodell while he's, saying everything. And then we get to the end of the line, and it was like I had this nice little private moment and got my kiss, got a hug, got it was like crazy at Green Bay. And then again last year, same thing. They saw me and I was like, I'm just here. And they're like, we know, get in line. So at this point, I don't know if he knows me. I'm sure he does,
Right.
but the security definitely does.
And that's your in, right? So
I mean,
Washington,
I
yeah,
guess. I mean, at this point, I feel my in is myself. I rolled the dice, went
right.
with it.
Yep.
Now it's just kind of a thing. So I'm going to see how long this plays out. I'm going to take these pictures at some point and make a little table book, photo book of
Mhm.
them. The little coffee table book. So when people come in, it's just a picture album of me and Goodell's kisses.
So you got Washington next year, you got Minnesota in 2028, it keeps going.
Yeah.
You kind of roll them out like Super Bowls. How Super Bowls you been to? Uh, were you at Super Bowl 54?
I was not at 54. I was at 57, 58. So, yeah, I actually was blessed, very blessed. I'm very good friends, family. We call each other family at this point, with one of the players and his family and stuff. So, I was very blessed to be a part of his family group. So, I went as such. So, yeah, I stayed with the players and everything at those hotels.
Wow.
Went to all the pre-parties, the post-parties. Those are amazing when you win. Yeah, it's just something else. Vegas was the best by far, I would say. Yeah, it was amazing. So it's different being there as part of friends and family and stuff, and you just see everything and you're at the hotel. It's a different kind of feeling and pressure, I would say. You're
Mhm.
not just there as a fan.
Right.
I mean, you're really there as a support system too. So,
Yeah.
you go into it obviously wanting the win, but you got to mentally, prepare of that win may not come, and we still got to come together. There's still going to be a party because they still have a post-game party whether you win or lose.
Hmm.
Um, thankfully. Thankfully, we won both times. And then I didn't go for the Chiefs Eagles game.
Right.
And of course, we lost that one. I hosted a VIP party at Power and Light, and we lost that one.
Yeah.
So I think if we go to the Super Bowl, I have to go to them at this point.
So it's LA, Atlanta,
Vegas, then back to
and
Vegas,
Vegas.
isn't it?
Vegas
Yeah.
63 and then 64 Nashville, which was just
Yeah.
announced this week.
Yeah.
So take me through the emotions of Hardman catching that touchdown in overtime. What's kind of going through what angle did you have and what type of emotions were going through?
So for Vegas, I actually chose not to go to the stadium. I was in Vegas. I
Hmm.
didn't go to the stadium.
Okay.
I hosted a VIP event right down from the stadium. So for that one, I chose to do it a little different. So I was there for everything except the game itself, and then immediately a car comes and gets me, and we go to the post game.
Okay.
Um, I I was so nervous. That game had me, yeah, sick to my stomach. But when we won,
Yeah.
that's I think maybe why Vegas was just 10 times better. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was being in Vegas. Maybe because of the way I was watching, when you're at the Super Bowl, one thing I didn't like is it's not like being at Arrowhead. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't be the fan that I am. I'm very loud. I'm obnoxious. I'm sitting field level for a reason. I am part of,
Yeah.
that 12th man atmosphere. Um, and you can't really be that at a Super Bowl, particularly when you're sitting with family. It's more quiet, laid back.
Yeah.
When I was there at Super Bowl 57, I mean, there was a point where I'm like, I can't do this anymore. Like we have got to cheer these boys on. So we did. I mean, I was sitting right next to Kelsey's friends, and I'm like, come on, guys, like, come on, we gotta go. So I
Mhm.
literally was the one bringing the energy at 57. So at 58, it just had a different vibe. When we won, it was amazing. One of my besties is actually Darian Thomas, so Derek Thomas's son. I had gone out there with pins and everything because we just felt like that Super Bowl was honoring his dad. It was Super Bowl
Yeah.
58. It was just
Wow.
a whole compounded complexity of beauty that went
Yeah.
with that particular Super Bowl. So Hardman getting that was amazing. And then I will never forget, we were back at the hotel and Hardman came in to the elevator. And he's the Sneeds is who my family is. And he's like, oh, Mama Sneed, so they start talking. He starts telling us about catching the ball and stuff. And he's like, I just went blank. My mind just
Yeah.
kind of went blank. And I didn't even realize what it was. I didn't even realize that, that's it, game over type thing. So it was amazing to see his reaction as well, right after everything. So
Mhm.
yeah, pretty cool. Pretty
That's
cool
awesome.
memories. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those insights. And I remember the 58, the whole Derek Thomas, and then you're talking to me about Derek Thomas's son there, and wow, that's and I think that was pretty close to the anniversary of his passing, which was on the 8th of February.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every 8th of February, I always I didn't know him personally, but I always take some time on the 8th of February.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
wow,
Nah, he's a
crazy.
good guy. He's got a good son for sure. I mean,
Hmm.
kids in general, but obviously I'm closest with Darian for
Yeah,
sure.
good
So
deal.
good guy. But yeah. So as far as Blitzen, where did this come from? I think that was
Yes,
one of the questions. Yeah.
where did Glitzen arise, and how did that all kind of come to be?
It's really who I am. I mean, I didn't become Blitzen. The nickname came upon me, and honestly, it came from a joke. A girlfriend and I, we were, two peas in a pod. We went to all the games together. We did a lot together. Um, and both of us, I mean, we were just always known for dressing up, showing out type. Ever since I was young, I've been known more as a Jersey girl type. I like the glitz and the glam. I like the sparkles. I like all that stuff. So I've never really been a laid back Midwestern person. I don't know where this comes from, but probably my mom's the same, maybe Mexican heritage a little bit there, but always liked the glam. And so we were joking around. We have some other friends who are super fans and stuff, and we were playing with their names and just jokingly, I was like, we should be Casey Glitzen and Glammin'. And so it just stuck. I mean, we kind of made fun of ourselves and then it just stuck. She isn't as active anymore. There for a while, it really was Casey Glitzen and Glammin'. She's not as active. To me, she's always going to be my Glammin'. I'm her Glitzen.
Right,
But that's really how the name came about. As far as everything else and the way I dress and all of that, it's me. It's just always been me. I'm sure I'm putting on a little more sparkle these days, maybe, and I definitely, didn't have Casey Glitzen on half my stuff before. I'm
right.
incorporating that a little bit more now, but all in all, it's just who I am.
Well, it's good to have personality, right? Like everybody knows about Fireman Ed, and there's Mikey Hulkhands, and like,
Yep.
and we need these guys. Like we need people like you to uh, promote the Chiefs. I mean, and to have that fan, that go-to, and you say you run a tailgate as well. So
Yeah.
on a noon game, does that start at 7 a.m.?
Earlier than that.
Okay.
Noon games, we're usually up. I would say the latest we'd be up is around 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. And that's only because we have somebody else that's out there ready and already in line to hold our spots. So no, we've got to get up really early. We've got a bus as well. So we go around and pick people up. Then we head out to the stadium. So yeah, I mean, I like the noon games. We hate the whole getting up and the process of it. But boy, oh
Right,
boy, when that game's over and you still have the later games to go watch and you can relax a little bit more, it makes Mondays a little easier.
right.
Man, these later games, whew, it is wreaking havoc on our work and our sleep schedules and stuff. It is rough and tough on these late games. Yeah,
And for years the Chiefs always played at noon, and now okay, they get
always.
6 to 5 prime games per
Right.
year. So let's get into the schedule. So no Sunday game. We got
We have
Broncos.
no noon game here.
until the no, November 8th. So I actually thought about this. I'm like, well, if the kids want to go to the pool in the morning, I'll be like, yeah, no, let's get our breakfast and go. Uh,
Oh yeah, no, you got to arrive at that stadium early, early, early,
yeah,
early.
yeah,
Um, you never, for a noon game, if you're not arriving at that stadium before, I would say 9:30 at the latest,
yeah.
even 9:30 to me is late. You're not going to get much tailgate time. The traffic is horrendous anymore going out there. I mean, it is definitely changed from days before. Um, so you're waiting half the time in traffic, and then it's the getting into the stadium. So
Hmm.
I always say for a noon game, you definitely want to be there. If you're wanting to tailgate and really enjoy everything, you want to be inside into parking, I would say no later than 9 for sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
noted. Maybe I'll bribe my kids with some sort of a treat that we can't, get in Canada or something.
There you go. Yeah. No. We'll bribe them with the bus ride.
That's right.
They can
Yeah.
choose the
So
music.
you're
There
saying
you go.
you pick people up from their hotels and stuff?
Not necessarily from the hotel. We have a couple pickup spots that we do. So
Okay.
one, most everybody will meet us out at the Price Chopper near the stadium because it's an easy way to kind of leave your car there. It's free parking for your car, and then just come in onto the bus. So that's normally, and then a lot of people meet us here at our house in Olathe. So we
Okay.
may add stops in between if there's a larger group that we need to pick up in between, as long as it's kind of on that route out to the stadium.
For sure. These are neat things to know because I remember when we went to the 325 start, it was like
Uh-huh.
we got up in the morning and like we left at 10:30 and it was suggested. I said to my wife, well, I got the kids some Kelsey and Mahomes stuff. Well, didn't you get them shirts? So we had to go get some stuff anyway. So I'm buying them shirts in the morning, and then we got there, and there was tons of people there already,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, yeah, noted. So
Yeah. And for us, I mean, because we are setting up the tailgate and stuff, you don't have assigned parking and assigned spots. So
yeah,
you got to get there. If you
yeah,
want that spot, you better be there in time to be the first to that spot.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a whole game in and of itself,
Hmm.
is actually going out there.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it's the adrenaline's kicking because the whole time I'm always stressed out. No matter how early we are, I'm just like, oh my God, somebody's gonna take our spot. That's it. This is the last, we're gonna have to end up getting into an
oh
argument
wow,
and explain, no, this is ours. Yeah, it's just a whole mess. But I think at this point we've been doing it for so many years. I
right,
think, there is a sense people do respect other people's spots, if you know that. But we've got so many new fans now that they don't know, they don't know that they're rolling up on somebody's
yeah,
tailgate spot. They're
yeah,
just rolling into tailgate.
right.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that kind of stuff that's going on now. A lot of new fans, which I love. I'm a huge fan of fans.
Hmm.
The more fans, the better. I don't care when you became a fan. I don't care if you're a fan because of Taylor Swift. I don't care about any of that. You're a fan of the Chiefs. You're wearing our colors. You're cheering our team on.
Yeah,
Come on.
yeah.
Even if you're not cheering our team on and you're wearing other colors, I'm still going to say, come on. It's football. Let's have fun. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's exactly it, right? There's so much outside noise, other stresses within that 3 hours. I mean, it is incredible. I mean, I have season tickets with my kids here with our Canadian um, football league here, and yeah, we do the tailgate, we do the bouncy castles, and that's only 2 hours, right? But I know for the Banjo Bowl, like people get there at 7 a.m. and it's like, well,
Yeah.
this is what they do all the time in Kansas City. I know this.
Yeah,
This
exactly.
this this is good. This is exciting. I wish the season started tomorrow, but it doesn't.
I not me. I need some more sleeps. I'm
Right,
not
right.
quite right now. What I'm into is I also usually only one, because I help lead up the big fan base Arrowhead Kingdom / Arrowhead South fan groups. So these are these nationwide groups and stuff, kind of this interconnected web of other fan groups, other states. It's this huge web of our fan bases.
Hmm.
So one thing that I do in addition to home games is kind of plan up these chief invasions. So, pick an away game. This year's Miami is the big one. Last year I did three, and I will never do that again. I went crazy, and then the season was horrible, and I was just burnt out. Oh my gosh, by the time I got to Vegas, I was burnt out. Um, but we're doing Miami right now. So right now is really my planning, and I help do group ticket sales, all of it. So we're doing a full-on weekend usually when we do this, a Red Friday event, we do a Saturday event, and then we've got the game on Sunday. For the game on Sunday, I always figure out something for the tailgate. Normally we do our own tailgate because we try to do everything as economical as possible. The whole thing is to get Chiefs fans there, and not everybody paying a bunch of money. It is not for us to make money that I
Right.
make zero. I spend a lot. I mean, well into the negatives, we'll put it that way when it comes to this stuff. But no, we do a full-on invasion. So that's my life right now. This is why football for me is definitely 365 days a year because it's always something going on. I usually go from well, when we're winning, I go from reg season to postseason to Super Bowl, right after Super Bowl, a little break. For the years that we won, there was the parade, and then I'd go to JJ's hometown when he was playing for the Chiefs and stuff, and we'd do parades there and celebration there. Come back, and it was time for draft. Then you have draft, then you have a couple weeks to breathe, and you're into training camp. After training camp, you're right back into preseason, and it starts all over again. So, yeah, there's no rest for the weary for this, I think, is what they mean when they say super fans. I mean, we literally do all of this stuff. All these, when you see fans everywhere and at all these events and stuff, we're usually the ones that are always there and attending and rallying people together and stuff. Thankfully, a lot of this stuff I'm connected to a lot of various charities. That's definitely what I love. The charities and the kids is definitely puts the biggest smile on my face for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they showed a bunch of Chiefs like I think it was over Christmas, Kareem Hunt, giving out the gifts a few years back, and it's like okay, yeah, this is what it's about, right? And that, and again, yeah, it's a billion-dollar business and everything else, but there is that fan aspect to it. And again, I remember when I was watching the schedule come out and I was following you, you're like, okay, I think Miami's going to be later, but it's on the third game, so
Third game.
crazy.
Yeah,
So you're more on the clock.
that's when I wrote my Dear John letter to Raj and broke up.
So what do you think initially of the Chiefs schedule? It's pretty
It's
rotating.
horrible.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
horrible.
It's
It's horrible. We can all just collectively say it is horrible.
so why
I
why do you why do
think
why do you say it's horrible? I think I know why, but why?
we have a bye in the fifth week. That is awful. I think it's great maybe for Mahomes for his recovery. But when we're playing the teams we're playing up front, like I hope he comes in healthy. Like it is a horrible schedule. We have three away games in a row.
Hmm.
We have all these prime time games. The time in between some of these games is very slim. It's just a horrible schedule. It literally went every way I wish it didn't go. So I think Goodell's wife is jealous. She got a hold of our schedule and said, I'm really going to stick it to KC Glitzen and not give her anything that she wants. So
Well,
I didn't get a thing that I wanted. I mean, I did need Miami. I did want Miami to play before November, but I was hoping for October so it wasn't so hot. Now we're playing Miami during the hottest time of year.
yes. Right.
Um, yeah, having two home games back to back that are night games, prime time. It's just horrible. Our first game, Broncos home game, like, yeah, it's a rough schedule.
And to me, that one doesn't make a lot of sense. Like from a Broncos perspective, you're the ones that won the AFC. Well, you didn't win the Patriots did, but they won the division.
They
There's more
still won the
momentum, and
division.
it's
Yeah.
like so obviously they think Mahomes is going to be back, and Justin Fields is in the wings. But I'm just so that was a bit of a head scratcher, and selfishly, I wanted them to play on Week 5 because that's Canadian Thanksgiving.
I mean, our schedule is not reflective of our ending position of last year at all,
Yeah,
at all.
yeah.
So it does say and speaks volumes to who we are as a club. So I will say, if anybody questions whether or not we are a dynasty, this schedule should show you we're a dynasty. If we could lose like we did last year and still get a schedule like this and have the primetime games that we have, we are the world's team right now. Cowboys
Mhm.
can be the America's team. We are the world's team. I mean, it is what it is. The networks want us. They want to be having the Chiefs on their screens under their belt. So, um, yeah, to me, it's a schedule of a dynasty for sure.
Well, it's also interesting that they put the Chiefs and Colts in week 2 because Daniel Jones ripped his ACL. So that's a bit of a curious spot as well.
So,
And
do you
it's a
think they
short,
just went through and plucked all of the broken bandits and said, you know what, we'll play them together in the first few games here.
right, and it's yeah, so it is fascinating. And
But to
again,
do it on prime time, that's
well,
what upsets me.
right, because last year it was a noon game, I think in December,
I think it was a three
November.
o'clock game. I can't remember last year on our first game, but um,
I meant for the Colts, but yeah, the
oh, for the Colts, yes, yes. I thought you meant our home opener game.
the home
Um,
opener game.
yeah, I think that was a 3 o'clock game on that. But yeah, that's what's got me is we're playing the Broncos. Mahomes is coming back injured. Nix is injured. I mean, all of these people are definitely coming back off injuries. I get it. So maybe that's what they did. But then why put it all on prime time? That that's just gross to me, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, it definitely is because you would think, oh, maybe they would, put an up and coming Jacksonville team on. They've had some. So, and you know what? And there are the Chief haters out there. Let's hit ourselves, right? So they probably think, oh, okay, yeah, here we go again, and
Here we go again. Yeah.
the refs
Yeah.
may have something to do with it. Yeah, right. But yeah, you have the Bills on Thanksgiving, right? And then
Yeah.
you have the Rams on December 3rd, and then the Bengals December 3rd, 3:25 start, right? So
Yeah. And
to
as it stands right now, I'll be my away games that I have planned is Miami, Rams, and Seahawks. Coming from Pacific Northwest,
yes,
that's a given. I've never been to that stadium, actually. I used to work for CenturyLink for many, 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 many years. So I was shocked that I had never made it to the stadium before. Now it's Lumen, obviously, which CenturyLink molded into. So yeah, it's like, no, I gotta go. This is the
yeah,
year. We're going. We're
yeah,
definitely going. Particularly the Seahawks just winning the Super Bowl. I was rooting for them. My parents will be out there. So yeah, that's a given game for us. We're definitely going to that one. Definitely Miami. And then as I mentioned, actually I've got the Rams on the schedule too. So
right.
not gonna do as many away games as I did last year. Last year I was exhausted. I think I did five,
5.
5 or 6.
Nice.
I could lost count. And let's see, Nashville, Dallas, Vegas. There was two more that I did. I don't remember what all I did last year.
So you were there on Thanksgiving,
Yep, that was the Dallas game.
and then the December 21st
Oh,
game,
I did Jacksonville as well.
the Monday night game.
Yeah. Matter of fact, that's where we really started losing was that Jacksonville game. Because I saw us lose from the pool. Because we always get the pool cabanas that
Yep.
overlook the stadium. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't horrible because you're in the pool, you're having fun, but yeah, That was when I'm like, this season isn't going to go very well. So yeah, I went to that
Yeah,
one.
I had a bad feeling after that one because if you go back to last year, it was the week two game where they found a way to win and willed
Yeah.
themselves, right? And it's like there's a guy on my page who goes, they'll be okay. He's a season ticket holder for the Chiefs as well, and
Yeah.
like yeah,
No,
I'm not too sure about that.
that's where I was at. Actually, it was
Yeah,
after that Jags game. I mean, I'll just say I love Kelsey. I do. Thank you, Kelsey, for all you've done. I am not on the bandwagon of holding him and bringing him back and stuff. So I wasn't last year. I'm not this year. So when I was seeing certain things, I don't know if I just felt it or I was just not seeing us come together. I was seeing a lot of independent playing going on. I
yeah,
wasn't seeing the camaraderie. Um, and I mean it's an energy you feel with this team, to be perfectly honest. It's like you see the plays, but there's just an energy that's created that you know that they're doing this as a team versus these independent mindsets. And that Jags game, I just kept seeing very independent mindsets. They just weren't coming together, they weren't very cohesive.
yeah,
And so it really was that game as well, where I was like, I don't have a good feeling. And then we had lost a couple more. And that at that point, I literally said, I'm done. That's okay. Lose out the rest of this season. Whatever you do, and I know that's not what teams do. I mean, they don't go in planning to lose necessarily. But for me as a fan, I'm like, I'm okay. I'm okay losing this season. Get a good draft pick out of this.
yeah.
We've got to rebuild. We've got to come back together. Like, whatever we do, I don't want to be fighting and getting to something just to lose out the first playoff game and not have any home play. I mean, I just didn't see any of that writing on the wall. We were way too much on a struggle bus for any of that to happen.
Yeah, so and which they did, right? They drafted the corner out of LSU.
Hmm.
They made the big trade with the Rams to create the cap space. You know,
Although that first draft pick got me. Oh my goodness, that got me. We were we were just certain it was somebody else. And
okay.
we were there with Bane and we were there with his family. They came over, his brothers were talking to us, and I was like, oh, let me bring you over to the Chiefs Center Circle. Let me, because we just swore this was who we were going to draft. And then we didn't. And we're all just in absolute shock, to be honest. It just doesn't, I'm not saying we didn't draft a good player. He's a great player. It's just not our system. We always go after these DBs and the corners and stuff specifically in later draft picks,
Yeah,
later rounds. So I was very shocked to see us draft a CB first round. Um, and our system is kind of a churn and burn with these DBs to begin with. We don't necessarily keep them. We build them and then we trade them.
yeah.
So it did. It shocked me. I was
Hmm.
kind of hoping, I don't know. I think I was hoping for offensive line. Honestly, I wanted a defensive tackle,
Yeah.
because we're going to be losing some folks here, some big guys, my big guy. Um, I was hoping we would get a defensive tackle. It is what it is. We'll see where we go, but now we're going to have wide receiver problems, I do believe, again.
Yeah, you want to dig into that a bit here. I mean, big things with the race at
Rice?
nice.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. I don't get it. I mean, you play in the NFL. I mean, I never have, but I just know what I would do. I would batten down the hatches and just do my job. But it is frustrating. It has to be. And I saw your post. I'd like to give this guy some chances. I'd like to
Yeah, that's
believe in
the
him.
thing. Is I want him to succeed. I really, truly want him to succeed. I don't think this is reflective of who he is and the work he's put in. I think this is reflective of, it's what I always say at draft. And one of the things I love about draft, you've got these rag to riches stories, and it's in a matter of seconds. these young boys really
Hmm.
suddenly become made millionaires. I mean, in a flash of an announcement, their world has changed. I don't know what I would do with that type of change in my life. So I can't pretend that I wouldn't go a little crazy and, want to, you know, live life on the highway type, literally. Um, with that said, I think as an athlete, um, one of the things that got you there is being focused, is training, is the hard work. So to me, it's a don't throw that away, son. Like, do not throw this away over something like smoking weed. Like it is a part of your probation. It has nothing to do whether or not it's legal or not. I know that's like a big discussion. Da, da, da. And I'm sitting back saying it doesn't matter. If they tell you you have to sit in a room, for 12 hours a day, that's what you do
Hmm.
because it's going to end. You're not going to be in that position forever. You got to get through it. You've got to get through it. You've got way too much to lose. Um, it's different with his status. So I don't know what we'll do with that all being said. I think so much has happened now with him. It's very hard as a fan to look at this and say, keep them, keep them, keep them, keep them. Because I'm looking at this and saying, I don't know, the field time he has had didn't really prove a whole lot. So what are we keeping him for at this point? What
Right.
I don't have a whole lot of justification. Others that have been in these circumstances, they've had probably more playtime under their belt, more success under their belt. He just hasn't, unfortunately. So I don't know.
Yeah, he had the friendly fire, right, with Mahomes there.
Yeah,
The game versus the Chargers, and you kind of thought, okay, this is going to be happening, and it just really hasn't.
right.
And so yeah, there has to be some frustration, obviously, from the Chiefs head brass and all that. I mean, whether they won't say it publicly, but it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, what are you keeping them for? I'm sure they can find they would have to make maybe a trade for another wide receiver, but I do see there, as you say, to be some problems there for sure.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Does he even have much value right now? I mean, he's still under contract. He's on his last year of the contract. So yeah, what is his value at this point with everything going on? Is there another team that would pick him up, knowing, hey, there's a good possibility he won't even be able to start for you. Who knows if he'll be able to play much for you? He's also clearly injured, which we kind of knew that coming out of last year. So yeah, you gotta just kind of sit back and think, okay, they're not just getting a potential WR1. There's a lot of baggage that comes with this now. So I don't know what his value is. I don't get paid the big bucks to know all of that. I'm wondering if they're sitting back thinking, do we just cut him? Do we just bench him and not play him and get somebody else in? So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing.
Mhm. Yeah, most definitely. And you made a comment there about Kelsey coming back. He's getting married here in like 3 weeks. Get a lot going on. Do you? Was there a reason for him to come back? Is it because Mahomes was injured at the end of the year? Or how do you kind of see that played? How do you kind of see that perspective?
I mean, I think for Kelsey, it's the way that year went. Um, this is why I say I think he should have retired after Super Bowl, after the Eagles, honestly, after this last. His brother went out that same way. I mean, his brother went out after losing Super Bowl and stuff, but you still got to the Super Bowl. I get it. They want to keep going and climbing and climbing and climbing. To me, I think it's a selfish type thing. Um, he's another one. It's not like He was fantastic last year from the nature of actually receiving, and catching. He had stats because he literally ended up being the diversion tactic. I mean, we made plays with him, yes, but because he played more of a decoy. I'm wondering if that's how he's going to be used again this year. I don't know. I think that's how we're going to need to use him. So
Mhm.
it'll be interesting. I'm still going to root the guy on for sure. But no, I definitely think he came back for himself, for his own ego mindset. I don't knock him for it. I don't know if it's the best for our team. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, considering they signed the other guy to a 3-year contract the year prior, so you kind of see the succession plan going on. And now you
Yeah,
don't hear people in NFL fantasy drafts. Well, maybe I should take Kelsey first overall if I have to pick.
yeah,
Like, yeah, those
yeah.
those days are kind of done. There's a
They're
lot
kind
more
of gone. Yeah,
tread on the tires. He's going to be turning what 37 in October, so uh,
yeah.
that kind of plays a part. And as I always say, nothing stays the same. Uh,
And it shouldn't. And that's what's exciting about football to begin with. I mean, that's
mhm.
kind of the whole thing. It's a constant, endless game of chess that you're always playing.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I said last year. I was like, oh, you're a fair weather friend, fan, you're jumping off and you want them to lose. I'm like, no, I'm playing chess. There's a longer game at stake here. I see what's going on this season. My mindset's on to the next season at this point. Coaches and staff, they can't do that. Us as fans, we can.
Yeah.
We can certainly be like, I'm still going to root them on. Absolutely. I'm always going to cheer my team on. But that doesn't necessarily mean my mind isn't always, going to move forward a little bit. So I
I love
I
it.
had moved on from Kelsey 2 years ago. So my mind's already moved on from him. He's still going to be here in Kansas City. So yeah.
Well, and one of my kids, like that's kind of why we're going down is to see Kelsey. So
There you go.
he one of my kids must loves Taylor Swift and all that. So that plays into it.
I mean, I do think too, and I was actually at the Vegas game, although I didn't stay. I ended up getting sick and having to leave. But I will say I'm happy this year. This will likely be his last game. Oh my gosh, if he goes another one, I'm literally gonna lose it. But he will end the regular season at home this
That's right.
year.
Yeah,
Um,
January 10th.
so there is that. And against the Raiders. So there is that.
Yeah, there is that. Just a few more things.
Yeah.
And as we say, there can always be a part two. Uh, Role models, mentors that have played in your life, because you just don't, as you say, you've talked about how you've become a fan, but obviously there has to be some mentors and role models. I'm always curious to ask this question.
For to make me into a football fan, a sports fan, or just who I am in general?
We can do both.
Okay. My grandfather on my mom's side, definitely a huge role model to me in my life. He is passed at this point, but he just very strong, smart businessman, good work ethics, good morals, all of that. So I think in general, he's always been my guiding light from a personality stance and someone I've always looked up to and wanted to be like. He, particularly as from a fan and being that fan and loving the kids and embracing them and the charities, that definitely is repetitious of my grandfather. Just kind of the light that he brought into the room. Um, Outside of that, honestly, my mom, and she's going to watch this and be like probably crying at this moment because I don't know that I've ever really told her this, but really she's always been a sports fan and it honestly used to annoy me. I used to think that she's just doing this just because, her husband in the room or something. I used to not like it at all. I honestly used to hate the fact that we had more sports channels than we did HGTV channels and stuff. I still kind of hate that. I'm not one that likes all various sports. I like to go to them, watching them on TV most of the time. Like, nah. Um, but my mother just embraced the no, we can be women and like sports. And so that literally has pushed me to be like, okay, I can speak to these things. I will never forget I was on a plane going to a game and had Chiefs gear on, and this guy's like looks at me and says I was going to Charlotte, so Panthers game, and he's like, "Oh, who's your favorite player?" And I was like, "I don't know. Do you want current, past? What's that?" And he's chuckling when he's saying this. And so I realized he's being sarcastic because here I am, a girl
Mm,
wearing all Chiefs. And then he makes some snide remark about Taylor Swift. And I was like, honestly, she's an incredible, amazing human being. I'm not into her music at all, so I couldn't tell you much about Swiftie. But I'll certainly go ahead and run down my list of who my favorite players are. So I start rambling off my list of names of my favorite Chiefs players and stuff. And he just kind of stepped back and I said, you know, just because we're women doesn't mean we're just a pretty face on a plane going to watch, a Chiefs game because we want to root on number 13, number 87. I'm not a Swiftie.
right.
And there was people around me and they were just like, good for you, good for you. So I think my mom brought that courage forth of me.
Hmm.
There's women of sports too, and
Yeah.
we're in the room. We can speak just like the guys in the room. We know the game just as well. I'm still learning. I mean, I'm not one that gets into the specific plays and all of that necessarily. I'm getting pretty good at reading what Andy Reid's going to do, though. So one of the things we do at games is once they get close to the end zone, we point of where the throw is going to go, where we're going to actually score that touchdown. I've gotten pretty good at that game.
That's good because he is actually calling the plays. It wasn't the
It
offense.
wasn't Natty.
It wasn't Nagy. That's where
No,
when I'm not
no, it
in
wasn't
football
Natty.
season completely, it's not. It is there, but I try to be quick. That's
No,
good because
I was happy that Nagy was gone. That was the other reason why I just wasn't feeling the season. I wanted EB back so bad. So here we are. Got EB back. He's
yeah,
such a great
and
guy.
he definitely my just observations. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Andy Reid kind of lets him, play in the gym, but when Eric the Enemy walks in there, it's smarten up or get out.
Well, the big difference in what I said when Nagy was around, Nagy was there to make friends. These guys, sure, they're going to love it. They're going to be your friend, but they don't need a friend. They need that more stern father figure locker
Yeah.
room personality, and that's EB. EB is honestly an amazing guy. I've met him off the field, amazing family. Um, just a super nice guy, but he does carry himself, you can tell to the guys in a way of he commands respect and not in a way of degrading somebody, but he's literally, yeah, you did great. Here's great to me. I want greatness out of you. And he expects more out of these guys because he knows they're worth more than what
Hmm.
they're seeing in themselves. It's just a whole different dynamic. And I think what you see out of that, remember I said when I saw in Jacksonville, I just didn't see the camaraderie in the team. Um, when EB's around, it is almost like these players, when you have siblings and you're growing up and you may bicker and fight amongst yourselves, but when you see another sibling getting in trouble by a parent, you all like come in and collectively band together. That's like
Hmm.
you guys can fight, but you don't want your siblings getting in trouble from your parents.
That's
And
right.
that's kind of what it feels like. Like the team comes together because they're like, ooh,
Yeah.
EB's here. Everybody else come together. And so I don't know. You watch. I think we'll see our team being cohesive again this year,
Yeah.
having each other's backs more, not making plays just because they want to have a shiny moment, but making plays that helps each other out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I Totally agree. I mean, I think yeah, it's going to be different because of different people in charge. So it is going to be exciting. So all that being said, what do you think the Chiefs' record will be this year?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't even want to get into this because I know I'll be wrong and then I'll hate myself over it. I won't give a record.
Okay.
I will say, given the changes we've made,
Hmm.
if I want to bring Stephon Diggs, I want to bring him over. And I
Okay.
also want to
Yep.
bring my boy JJ back, bring Legarius back,
Legarius
Sneed.
Sneed, yes.
Let him, we need a veteran there on the DBs. Right now we're working off a lot of rookie. Um, Bring them back. I will at least bet then at that point, I would even go do a Vegas bet that we would at least we'll make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. I like the Sneed reference.
Oh
Kind of
yeah,
make you
that's
think
my
like
boy.
right. Think about that play he made versus the Ravens. Crazy, right? Like
He
just
brought us to a Super Bowl. He'll
Super
bring us
Bowl,
to another
right?
one.
That was that was
Yeah,
that was nuts
yeah,
because the Chiefs
yeah.
in that game, Baltimore comes out, they score the first touchdown, then that was it.
That was it.
That was over.
He brought us. He brought us. He was crucial at Super Bowl 57 too in Arizona. I mean, that his play game on that right towards the end is what turned that whole game around too. So,
Hmm.
no, JJ comes in clutch, and obviously I'm a little biased, but even if I wasn't that biased, he's a solid person to bring back. I think it makes sense for us to bring him back right now. We need a veteran back, for the corners, for the DBs. He's versatile, so he can kind of
Yeah.
play different types positions back there. So yeah, I would love to see him come back. I wouldn't have said Stefan if it wasn't for the fact of Rice's debacle going on right now. But at this point, yeah, let's figure Rice out, get Diggs on with us, bring JJ back, and we're good. We're good. We got
Okay.
EB. We're good.
So no Tyreek Hill, or is that ship sailed?
No,
Okay,
no.
fair enough.
Hill Hill's beyond his prime, I think, at this point. He's got the injuries going on. I would love for us to maybe sign Hill for him to retire from the Chiefs, but not necessarily bring him on to play. Maybe we bring him on postseason. I don't know.
You bring up the like I think of these plays, right? We think about the lost play in Super Bowl
Yeah.
54 out of the timeout. Like these plays just, you know, there's so much more I actually yeah, I want to be respectful of people's time and everything, but uh
You're fine. We can do a follow-up too. It's
yeah,
up to
yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's
Well,
good.
when you come for the game, you could do a podcast from the bus if you wanted to. Maybe we'll do a part two. You can do it live from the bus.
Yeah, we could do I got a phone plan now where I don't need to just be on airplane mode. It's,
There you go. Yeah, we'll get it
it'll
all
all be
set up.
good. And I'm looking forward to going to the game there in November. I'm hoping for good roads. I really wanted the Patriots game. Because I told my wife, well, then you won't have to take personal days. But around that time last year, there was a big storm here, so
Yeah,
yeah, it's kind of
yeah.
you have to kind of cross your fingers here a bit. But that's how it goes. Was there anything else that you would like to talk about that I haven't maybe mentioned or?
I don't think so. I mean, I will say much appreciation. I know you are in Canada, and one of the big things I love the fact that Chiefs are international. This is why I keep saying we are the world's team.
Yeah,
My heart is always right on for these international fans. So really appreciate that.
thank you.
I know I've got lots of what we call family. They're out of Europe, and oh my gosh, the time they put in just staying up late hours to watch these games and stuff. The amount of money spent on, traveling to the games. I get it. I go to away games, I go to the international games. I know what that's like, but I am blessed. I'm right here. So
Mhm.
yeah, I really love this international momentum that's gone on. So
And that
Let's
hasn't
see
always
that.
been the case with the NFL. I mean, 30 years
Mm-mm.
ago they weren't doing this, and now it's like, hey, they have 11 games. The Chiefs aren't doing an international game this year. Um, well, they opened up against the Chargers last year. That's right.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, in Brazil. So, which I wanted to go to that game. My son's half Brazilian. I actually speak some Portuguese, and I'm like, oh, if we ever play in Brazil, we're going. And then the schedule comes out, and it's the first game. I'm like, can't make that one. There's
Yeah,
no way. And then we had a home game right after. I mean, there was no way. My son was going off to college. There, it was impossible to go.
right,
So.
right.
I was so bummed. That's why I was so excited for Spain this year. I was doing everything I can to will that into existence. And then lo and behold, nope, we're not going. Oh, I was so upset. So upset. Yeah. Raj is going to hear from me. I told him he has 11 months to make it up, or he's not getting a kiss at next year's draft.
In Washington. Yeah,
Exactly.
I love
If I
how they
see
move.
him, I'm just going to shun him.
Oh, it's good. That is so good. It's
I'm going
all.
to serve him divorce papers.
Oh, fun times.
Ah.
Good
All
deal.
right, so we will see you for the Jets, correct? Jets?
Yeah, for the Jets, Jets,
There it
Jets,
is.
Jets. Yeah.
Awesome. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
Bring some maple syrup.
yes, yeah, and then ketchup chips. We can't forget about that
Oh,
deal.
ketchup chips.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have some loony. I got loonies. So
Loonies.
being from the Pacific Northwest, of course, I was only like an hour from the Canadian border and stuff. So I've
Right.
been up to Canada several
Yeah,
times. Over in the Banff area. Oh man, it's so beautiful. So
yeah.
beautiful.
That's
People
good.
need to get to Canada. It is gorgeous up there. When are we going to play an NFL game in Canada? Well, how come Canada's never on the map? Just
That's
because
a
of,
very good question. So let me
I
take you back.
mean, we play in Mexico. Why can't we play in Canada?
Well, they did. They had the Buffalo series with Toronto for years, and then that kind of went to.
Yeah.
And if the Bills ever played in Toronto now with a new stadium, there would be an upheaval. They have had an exhibition game years ago with the Seahawks 49ers, I believe. And then there was an exhibition game here in Winnipeg between the Raiders and Packers. And the field conditions were apparently so bad that they almost canceled the game. Tickets were like $400.
Oh
And
my God.
like
For
it
an
was
exhibition game?
and
Wow.
it was if you took somebody to sell them on the NFL, that that person, "Oh, I can only watch Canadian football, not like you would not have sold them." Right.
Wow.
It's like if you went to Arrowhead, we talked about at the beginning. Yeah, you're going to be a fan for life. You will.
Yeah.
You go. It's like, what are you guys doing? Like, it was awful.
Oh
It was
no.
yeah. So I would love it. I mean, they could play in Edmonton. They got Commonwealth Stadium there. They could play in Toronto, but there's always this notion that Toronto wants the NFL. I don't know if that's necessarily the case, but
Yeah.
you know, it's it's one of those things. There's talk that the CFL may expand to different countries eventually too. I mean, we're only a nine-team league.
I would wonder if the CFL, you still have the European Football League that's going on, that was once the NFL, but now they're separate. I'm wondering if this is all going to come together. It'll be interesting how this goes. I mean, I know, up in Germany and all that, they still have those teams. Frankfurt Galaxy was part of them. I met a lot of them when we had the game there in Germany. So, I mean,
Mhm.
that would be interesting if, I don't know. I wonder how this is going to play out. NFL's obviously wanting to expand, and I am wondering if they're just going to try again at having a whole separate, football league that is strictly for international. It didn't work when they did it before, so I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. It'll be
Yeah,
interesting.
and it's like when the CFL tried to expand down to the states 30 years ago, and people go, "Whoa, well, that didn't work." Well, no, it's different now. In the CFL, they're changing the rules. They're getting rid of the 55-yard
Yeah.
line. They're making the end zones 15 yards instead of 20. Well, why is
Aren't they
this?
going more to like the arena football type
Well,
setup?
well, everybody thinks they're going to the NFL setup and
The NFL, okay.
making it more Americanized. Like, okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, okay, if as soon as you start messing with the width, okay, I can see it. But
Yeah,
if you want the CFL to be, um, if you want it to be successful and vibrant, like, what are you going to do? You have to expand. And that's how
yeah,
you get teams in like a Fargo or an Aberdeen or a
yeah,
Jamestown. Just throwing
yeah.
names, right? And it's just you kind of have to think outside the box. And the NFL, like the NFL 30 years ago, didn't have NFL Network. The
Nope.
combine was not broadcasted. The draft is huge, and that has to do with the NFL didn't rely on on their laurels. They said, no, we're giving her, and they're still giving her.
Well, remember, I mean, there wasn't even two conferences when it all first started. So, I mean, Chiefs is what literally started what is known as the NFL today because it started the whole AFC conference to begin with. So,
That's right.
yeah, I'm with you. I mean, you've got to expand. I will say there's a point, though, to where you may expand too much. And this is kind of where I'm on that fringe with NFL. I don't want to be adding international teams. I don't think I'm there yet. Like
Hmm.
to the actual 32 teams. I don't want to add teams on that are international teams. I think it makes it tough on fans. Um, Obviously, I'm saying that very selfishly. I mean, it's hard enough to travel, but then you start having all these international games, and it's like, oh my goodness, you got to calculate this all in. Um, but I would like a whole an international NFL league. And again, I know that they've started that and it didn't really go, but it is still succeeding in its own way. They're just separate from the NFL. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where it all goes. And arena football is gaining traction too. So I
Well, I
don't
mean
know.
I mean that's where Kurt Warner came from,
Yeah.
right? We know of
Yeah.
that story and uh stock and
Well, a lot of the
change.
rule changes and stuff within the NFL are seeping in now from arena football. So yeah.
Yeah, and this is the thing that, people in the CFL maybe don't quite like the NFL has tinkered with rule changes as well, like the kickoff.
The kickoff. That's part of
That's
the arena football stuff that it came from, I do believe.
right.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
safety and whatever else. And it's like, well, no, the stands are still full and people are still talking about it and
More
the coverage
full.
is wall to wall and
Yeah. I mean, honestly, NFL has grown. They definitely aren't losing. Particularly now that you've got all the networks that are in there vying for media coverage of it all. So, I mean, they're making a lot. My boyfriend Raj has deep pockets right now. Makes me even more upset what he did to me this year.
and the first time
I'm
he
not
had
even in it for the money, Raj. I was just in it for the schedule.
and the first time ESPN's had is going to have the Super Bowl this year, which is
Yeah,
crazy,
which
right?
is, yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's a locomotive that doesn't ever seem to end. But again, you take yeah, and Swift helps with these things and pop culture, etc. And everybody talks about the halftime show, regardless who it is, and you can go back to Super Bowl 38. Everybody can guess who that was, but it's just it is the event, it is the spectacle, it's
Yeah.
everything, right? So I just hope they would move the Super Bowl to Kansas City, but I know they would need it though.
Well, I mean, that's the goal, right?
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if we ended up with the Super Bowl probably what 2032, after 1 year under our belt, maybe. So,
Mhm.
I mean, we got the draft here. That was kind of the first step in a lot of it, getting the new stadium. They're clearly putting a dome on that. So yeah, I would guess I'm probably going to see a Super Bowl in Kansas City in my lifetime. Not that I'll be there, but I'll see it come
Right.
to fruition here. Just
You'll be
tickets are
you'll
so
be hosting a
expensive.
party and then an Uber will pick you
I'll be
up.
doing something with it. Yeah. It would be amazing if we played in it. That would be amazing, but Yeah.
That would be wild, right? And then
Yeah. It'll be
uh,
cool. It'll be cool. I mean, they're going to be headquartered here in my hometown now, Chiefs are. So,
mm,
where I live, not my hometown, but where I live,
right.
in Olathe. Yeah. So, they're going to be in my backyard here soon.
Oh, that's good. That's awesome. Good deal. Well, this has been I try not to be too repetitive and whatever else, but
No, you're fine.
this has been awesome. This has been so good, and I just love hearing perspectives from fans and everything else, and sharing your journey. And I'm sure there's a bunch more we could get into here, but again, always want to be respectful of people's time. But I'll put this on YouTube so you can show
Okay.
your mom,
Okay.
and we'll take from there, and hope to see you in November when the Chiefs take on
Absolutely.
the Jets, and
Yep.
we'll get to bed early on the Saturday night by the
Get
sounds
to
of it.
bed early on Saturday. Absolutely. You either get to bed early or you don't go to bed at all. You only have two choices.
Yeah,
That's how it goes.
that's exactly it. Good deal. Right on.
All
Take
right,
care,
Steve. You
and
take
God bless.
care.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon.
See
Bye.
ya. Bye bye.